happening inside you right now that you have been trying to name for weeks. Not a feeling exactly, not quite a thought, something closer to a pressure, a tightening around the life you have been living, as if the walls of it are slowly, quietly closing in. You have been waking up at odd hours with that sensation of something unfinished pressing against your chest. You have been moving through your days with a strange dual awareness, doing the ordinary things, the coffee, the commute, the conversations, while somewhere underneath all of it, a voice you can barely hear keeps repeating the same thing in different forms. This is not it. This is not it. This is not it. That voice is not anxiety. That pressure is not a symptom of something wrong with you. What you are feeling is the proximity of a threshold. And the reason it feels like urgency, the reason it has taken on this particular quality of almost too late, is because it is, not in the catastrophic sense, not in the sense that you have failed or that the door is closing on you, but in the precise, physical, quantum mechanical sense that there is a window in your reality that is open right now, and windows do not stay open indefinitely. This transmission is a message from the version of you that has already crossed. That is not a metaphor designed to make you feel good. It is a precise description of what is happening in this moment. The future version of you, the one who made the crossing, who stepped through the threshold you are standing at right now, exists as a real attractor state in the field of your possible selves. And that version of you has something to tell you. Not comfort, not reassurance. Something sharper than that. A warning and a set of exact coordinates. You are almost out of time. Not forever. Not for life. But for this particular gate. This specific threshold. The one that has been standing open in front of you while you have been doing everything except walking through it. Here is what we are going to do together. We are going to map this threshold precisely. We are going to look at the quantum mechanics of why windows close, why state transitions have actual deadlines built into their physics, why the version of you that hesitates too long does not simply arrive later, but arrives somewhere else entirely, somewhere you do not want to go. We are going to meet two people who stood at this exact kind of gate, one who crossed and one who waited. And we are going to follow both of them forward in time to see exactly what happened. We are going to do a practice together that will let you feel the edge of this threshold with your entire body, not just your mind. And then we are going to talk about what changes the moment you step through. By the time this transmission is complete, you will not be standing in the same place you are standing right now. That is the promise, not because of anything mystical, because of what understanding does to consciousness. Because the moment you see the gate clearly, The moment you understand exactly what it is and exactly what it costs to stay on this side of it, something in you shifts. Something collapses from possibility into decision. And decision is a crossing. Let us begin with the physics, because this is not metaphor dressed as science. This is actual science that turns out to describe something most people only know as a feeling. In physics, a phase transition is the moment a system crosses from one state of organization to another. Water becoming ice, ice becoming steam. These transitions do not happen gradually. They happen at precise critical points. You can cool water from room temperature all the way down to 1 degree Celsius, and it is still liquid, still water, still behaving like water. And then, at exactly 0 degrees, everything changes at once. The entire molecular structure reorganizes. The system crosses a threshold and becomes something categorically different. The crossing is not gradual. It is not a slow fade from water to ice. It is a state transition, sudden, total, and irreversible in the sense that the ice is genuinely different from the water it came from, even if you melt it again. Now, here is the part that most people do not know, the part that matters for what you are experiencing right now. There is a phenomenon in physics called hysteresis. It describes the way some systems resist crossing their threshold, even after the conditions for crossing have been met. Water can be cooled below 0 and remain liquid if the conditions are right. This is called supercooling. The water is below its freezing point. It should have crossed. The physics is telling it to cross, but it has not crossed yet. Supercooled water is in a profoundly unstable state. It is past its transition point, but has not transitioned. And what happens to supercooled water is one of the most important things you could understand about your own situation right now. It takes almost nothing to trigger the crossing. A single ice crystal introduced into the water. A vibration. A disturbance so small it is almost unmeasurable. And when that trigger arrives, the entire system crosses the threshold instantaneously. Not gradually, all at once. The whole volume of water freezes in a cascade that propagates through the entire system in milliseconds. You are supercooled right now. If this is landing somewhere real in you, here is something I want to share with you before we go further. Have you spent years shielding yourself from other people's energy? Boundaries, releases, energy clearings, and still wake at 3 a.m., running someone else's anxiety? Those tools treat it as outside you. It's not. Your nervous system has adjusted to every room for so long, it forgot its baseline. The sealed timeline, a quantum guide to becoming untouchable by wrong frequencies, walks through the 5-step crossing: the adjusting pattern, the breaking point, the crossing itself, what stable feels like, and why old evidence shows up. Every tool you tried treated this as an outside problem. This one ends the adjusting pattern that made you a receiver in the first place. The longer you adjust, the harder it gets to come back to yourself. Open it tonight. It's in the pinned comment below. Now, back to the thread we were following. Because what your own system is doing right now is the same physics, and it matters deeply. You have been past your transition point for longer than you know. The conditions for crossing have been met. The physics of your situation is telling you to cross. And you have remained in this profoundly unstable in-between state, past the threshold, but not through it, because the trigger has not arrived yet, or because you have been unconsciously avoiding the triggers that would initiate the cascade. This transmission is a trigger. But before we go further into what crossing means, we need to talk about the other thing that happens to supercooled water. Because hysteresis has a limit. Supercooled water cannot remain supercooled indefinitely. If the temperature keeps dropping, eventually the system does not get a clean phase transition. It gets something messier. The molecular structure does not reorganize into clean, crystalline ice. It gets something more chaotic, more disorganized, with less coherence than a clean crossing would have produced. In other words, there is a window, and the window closes. This is what the urgency you have been feeling is actually pointing to. Not a deadline imposed from outside. A deadline written into the physics of your own system. Your consciousness has been past its transition point. It has been holding in superposition between the old state and the new one. And that superposition is not a stable place to live. It is metabolically expensive. It is psychologically destabilizing. And it has a time limit built into it. The question is not whether you will cross. The question is whether you cross cleanly at the moment of your choosing, when the window is fully open, or whether you wait until the window closes and then cross anyway, but into something less coherent, less crystalline, less fully realized than what was available to you now. Your future self is sending you this message because your future self knows the answer to that question. Your future self has already crossed, and your future self knows exactly what you are risking by staying on this side of the threshold 1 moment longer than necessary. If this transmission is landing somewhere real in you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so these messages keep finding you when you need them most. Let us talk about what is actually on both sides of where you are standing. On the side you are currently on, there is something that looks like safety. That is the first thing to name clearly, because the reason people stay on this side of a threshold is not stupidity, not weakness, not failure. It is that this side has something that resembles safety in it. The known, the familiar, the life that has already been built and tested and proven to be survivable. But here is what is also on this side, and this is the part that your future self needs you to hear directly. On this side of the threshold, there is a slow diminishment that you have been trying not to see. It is subtle enough that on any given day, you can explain it away. Today was just hard. This week was just unusual. Things will settle. You will find your rhythm again. But if you step back and look at the arc, not the day, not the week, but the arc of the last year, the last 2 years, you will see it. Something has been getting smaller. Not your circumstances necessarily. Something inside. The range of what feels possible. The frequency at which you feel genuinely alive, genuinely engaged, genuinely like yourself. The moments of real aliveness have been getting rarer. The sense of moving toward something has been replaced by the sense of managing something, maintaining, holding together, keeping the existing structure from falling apart. This is what life on this side of a threshold that you have not crossed looks like from the inside. It does not feel like suffering exactly. It feels like a kind of low-grade flatness, a life that is fine. That is the word, fine. Not terrible, not wonderful. Fine. And the thing about fine is that it is the most dangerous place a human being can live, because fine is survivable. Fine does not create enough pain to force a crossing. Fine is the temperature of supercooled water, below the transition point, past where you should have crossed, but not cold enough yet to freeze chaotically. Fine is the state that can persist for years, for decades, while the window slowly closes. Your future self is watching you live in fine and is reaching back through the field of possible selves to tell you something very specific. Fine is not what you think it is. Fine is not a stable resting place. Fine is what it looks like when a version of you is slowly disappearing. Now, let us look at the other side. And here I need to be precise, because this is where most transmissions of this kind make a mistake. They describe the other side in terms of outcomes. The other side is where you have the life you want. The relationship, the work, the freedom, the abundance. And while those things may be true, describing the threshold crossing in terms of outcomes is actually the least important thing you could understand about it. The other side is not primarily a different set of circumstances. The other side is a different state of consciousness, a different way of processing reality, a different relationship to your own existence. Here is what actually changes when you cross a genuine threshold of consciousness. Your relationship to uncertainty changes completely. On this side of the threshold, uncertainty is a threat. It is the thing you manage, minimize, protect yourself from. Every decision is filtered through the question of what is safest, what is most certain, what preserves the existing structure. On the other side, uncertainty is information. It is the field in which possibility lives. The relationship to not knowing shifts from threat to resource. This is not a small change. This is a fundamental reorganization of how your nervous system processes the future. And it changes everything downstream. Every decision, every relationship, every creative act, every moment of engagement with what your life is and what it could be. Your relationship to the past changes. On this side, the past is a weight. It is the sum of what has happened to you, what you have done, what has been done to you, the evidence base from which you calculate what is possible in the future. On the other side, the past is simply what happened. It is not predictive. It is not defining. It is not the ceiling. It becomes something you can look at clearly, without needing it to mean something about what comes next. Your relationship to yourself changes. And this is the deepest one. On this side of the threshold, there is a version of you that you are managing, presenting, protecting. The self that has to be maintained, explained, defended. The identity that was constructed from everything that happened before this moment. On the other side, that construction becomes visible as a construction, not as a fraud, not as a lie, but as a particular crystallization of experience that was real for what it was and is no longer the only possible organization of who you are. This is what your future self has access to, that you do not yet. Not different circumstances. A different self that inhabits circumstances differently. A self that is not supercooled, not held in unstable suspension between states, but fully crystallized into the next form. Now, I need to tell you something about the specific nature of the threshold you are standing at, because this is where the warning becomes most important. Every threshold has a specific character. Every gate opens onto something specific. And the gate you are standing at right now is not a generic gate of growth, or change, or becoming. It has a precise identity. You are standing at the threshold between the life you have been managing and the life you have been meant to build. Those are not the same thing. And the distinction between them is the entire content of what your future self is trying to communicate. The life you have been managing is real. It has real people in it, real commitments, real history, real value. It was built by you from real choices, and it contains things that matter. But somewhere along the way, and you know exactly when, even if you have never said it out loud, somewhere along the way, the building stopped and the managing began. The forward motion became maintenance. The creation became preservation. And you told yourself this was maturity, responsibility, wisdom. You told yourself that the earlier version of you that wanted to build something was naive, impractical, not accounting for the real complexity of a real life. You made peace with managing. You got good at it. You built an entire identity around being someone who handles things, keeps things together, shows up reliably for the existing structure. And now that structure is telling you something by the very discomfort it is producing. The tightening, the pressure, the waking up at 3 in the morning, the sense of something unfinished. The structure itself is signaling that it has reached the limit of what it can contain. You have outgrown it, not by growing bigger in some vague spiritual sense, by accumulating real experience, real understanding, real capacity that the existing structure cannot hold anymore. This is the gate, the threshold between managing what was built and building what is next. And here is the warning from your future self, delivered as precisely as it can be delivered through this medium. The version of you that does not cross this threshold does not stay the same. That is the illusion of staying. You think if you do not cross, you remain where you are. But the system is not static. The supercooled water does not stay supercooled forever. The version of you that does not cross this threshold begins slowly and then more quickly to organize itself around the fact of not crossing, around the decision, conscious or not, to stay in the managing life. And that organization is a crossing of its own, just not the one that was available to you now. It is a crossing into a smaller version of yourself, a crystallization into a form that is less than what you could have been. Your future self has seen both versions, the one who crossed and the one who did not. And the difference between them is not primarily in what they have or what they have given. The difference is in their aliveness, in the quality of presence they bring to their own existence. The version who crossed is genuinely here, genuinely engaged, genuinely inhabiting their life rather than managing it. The version who did not cross is still fine, still functional, still surviving, but there is a particular quality of absence in them, a way of being not quite present even in their own moments, that is the signature of someone who stood at a gate and let it close. I want to ask you something directly, and I want you to sit with it before you answer even to yourself. Have you ever stood at a threshold and known in your body before your mind caught up that you were at a point of no return, a moment when everything was about to reorganize, when the life on one side and the life on the other side were both suddenly undeniably real? Leave that moment in the comments, not the outcome, the moment itself, the feeling of standing at the edge and knowing it. Let me tell you about Mara. Mara was 37 years old when the gate opened for her. She had built a life that, by every external measure, was a success. A career in architectural design that she had worked toward for 15 years. A marriage that was stable and kind. A home in a city she had chosen deliberately. Friends who had been friends for decades. the whole architecture of a life that made sense. And then something happened that she did not have a category for. It was not a crisis. Nothing fell apart. Nobody left. She did not lose her job or her health or anything that would have given her a clean story to tell about why everything felt different. What happened was subtler and, in some ways, more disorienting than any of those things. She finished a project, a significant one, the kind of project she had been working toward for years, a building that would be built, that would stand, that would be real in the world. She finished it, and it was good. She knew it was good, and she stood in the moment of its completion and felt, instead of the satisfaction she had expected, a very quiet and very clear question arrive in her consciousness. Is this it? Not a complaint, not ingratitude, a genuine question. A question that arrived with the quality of something that had been waiting a long time to be asked. Is this what the building was for? Is this the destination? Is this the shape of the life I am living and will continue to live? And she did not have an answer. Not because the life was bad, because the question was real, because something in her had outgrown the frame of the question she had been living inside, the question of how to build a successful career in architectural design, and had arrived at a larger question that the existing frame could not contain. She recognized this as a threshold. She did not call it that. She called it a crisis of meaning, which is one of the names this kind of gate goes by. But she recognized that something was being asked of her, that something was shifting, and that the shift required a response. And here is where Mara's story becomes the story of the gate. Because Mara had two responses available to her. She could feel the question and follow it. Let it take her somewhere she could not yet see. Cross the threshold that the question was pointing toward. Or she could feel the question and explain it away, attribute it to exhaustion, to the post-project dip, to a normal fluctuation in motivation, and return to the known structure of the managing life. She chose, for a period of about 8 months, the second option. Not dramatically, not with a conscious decision to stay, but with the daily accumulation of small choices to not follow the question, to not sit with the discomfort of not knowing, to return to the familiar rhythms of the existing structure. And what happened in those 8 months was not nothing. It was something very specific. The question did not go away. It got louder. The discomfort of not following it increased. The gap between the life she was living and the life the question was pointing toward became more and more difficult to ignore. The supercooled water was getting colder. And then, in the 9th month, something happened that she did not choose and could not have predicted. A project fell through, a significant one she had been counting on. And in the gap it created, in the sudden opening in her schedule and her certainty about what came next. The question arrived with a force she could not explain away. She followed it. She did not know where it was going. She could not see the other side of the threshold. She only knew that the question was real, and that following it was the only honest response she had left. She began to work differently. Not in a way she could have described in advance, but in a way that felt like moving toward something rather than maintaining something. She began to design spaces not for the clients who were hiring her, but for the questions she had been carrying. Questions about how spaces shape consciousness, how architecture can be a threshold rather than a container, how the built environment can invite crossing rather than enforce staying. It was not a clean crossing. There was no single moment where everything changed. But there was a direction, and the direction was unmistakably toward something rather than around something. 3 years after that project fell through, Mara was doing work she had not known was possible for her. Work that was genuinely hers in a way the earlier work had not been. Not more successful by every metric. Some things had gotten harder. Some relationships had shifted. Some certainties had dissolved. But alive in a way the earlier work had not been. Genuinely engaged, genuinely present, genuinely building something rather than managing something. And when she looked back at the 8 months she had spent explaining the question away, she said something that I want you to hear very carefully. She said, "I did not lose those 8 months, but I did not gain them either. They were the cost of arriving at the threshold and then standing still. And the cost was not just time. The cost was that I arrived at the crossing point more depleted than I would have been if I had followed the question when it first arrived. The crossing was harder because I had spent 8 months resisting it. The landing was shakier because I had let the window get smaller before I finally stepped through. That is the specific cost of hesitation at a threshold. Not that you miss the gate entirely, but that you arrive at the crossing point diminished by the energy of resistance. And the crossing, which could have been clean, becomes something you have to push through rather than step through. Now, let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel was 44 when his gate opened. He had spent 20 years building a business that employed 30 people and generated a comfortable life. He was good at what he did. He had built something real. And the gate that opened for him was not the same gate as Mara's, because every threshold is specific, but it had the same quality of unmistakable arrival. For Daniel, the gate opened through a conversation with his daughter. She was 16, and she asked him a question that he could not answer. She asked him what he would do if he could do anything. Not what he should do. Not what made sense. What he would do if the existing structure were not a constraint. And he realized, in the moment of that question, that he did not know. that he had not asked himself that question in so long that the faculty for answering it had atrophied, that the part of him that knew what he wanted, as distinct from what he had built and what he was maintaining, was quiet in a way that frightened him. He recognized this as a problem, not immediately as a threshold, but as a problem. Something was wrong. Something was missing. He began to look for it in the ways that people look for missing things when they do not yet know they are standing at a gate. He took a vacation. He read books about meaning and purpose. He talked to a therapist, which helped, but not in the way he expected, not by giving him answers, by making the question more precise. The therapist asked him something in their fourth session that Daniel later described as the moment the gate became visible to him. She asked him, "What are you protecting by not knowing the answer to your daughter's question?" And Daniel sat with that for a long time, because the honest answer was that he was protecting the existing structure, the business, the identity, the known life. If he knew what he would do, if he could do anything, he would have to reckon with the distance between that and what he was actually doing. And reckoning with that distance would require a response, and a response would require a crossing. Not knowing was a way of not having to cross. Daniel crossed. Not all at once, not by burning down the existing structure, but by beginning to build something alongside it that was genuinely his, in a way the business had not been for years. He began to teach. Not formally at first, just conversations with younger people who were building things, sharing what he had learned, discovering in the sharing that this was where his aliveness lived, that this was the thing he would do if he could do anything. The business did not disappear. The existing structure did not collapse, but it changed its relationship to him. It became something he ran rather than something he was. And the thing he was became something larger, something more genuinely his, something that did not require him to be absent from his own life in order to maintain it. He crossed the threshold, and the crossing cost him something. The certainty of the known life, the comfort of the existing structure, the identity of being someone who had built a specific thing. Those things did not disappear, but they changed. They became part of a larger story rather than the whole story. But here is what he said about the alternative, about what would have happened if he had stayed on the other side of the gate. He said, "I would have kept going. The business would have kept running. My life would have continued to look, from the outside, exactly like what it was. And I would have become, slowly and without drama, someone who was no longer really there, someone who was present in the physical sense, but absent in the sense that matters, someone who had traded the question of what he would do if he could do anything for the answer of what he was already doing. And that trade, made without acknowledging it as a trade, would have been the most expensive thing I ever did. I want you to sit with what both of these stories are pointing to. Because Mara and Daniel did not face the same threshold. Their gates were different. Their crossings were different. What they had in common was not the content of the crossing, but the structure of the moment they were in. Both of them were standing at a gate that had opened in their reality. Both of them felt the pull of the known life on one side and the pull of the question on the other. Both of them had a period of hesitation that cost them something real. And both of them ultimately crossed and found on the other side not a perfect life, but a genuine one. And both of them, when asked what they would say to the version of themselves standing at the gate, said some version of the same thing. Cross sooner. Cross before the window gets smaller. Cross before the energy of resistance depletes you. Cross while the gate is fully open and the crossing can be clean. That is the message your future self is sending you right now. Cross sooner. Now, I want to talk about something that most transmissions about threshold crossing get wrong, and it is important enough that I need to address it directly before we go further. The urgency of this message, the "you are almost out of time" quality of it, does not mean that you are supposed to make a reckless decision right now. It does not mean that the crossing requires you to destroy the existing structure of your life in a single dramatic act. It does not mean that the gate is a cliff you jump off without knowing what is below. What it means is something much more specific, and in some ways, much more demanding than a single dramatic act. It means that the quality of your attention needs to change. Right now. Today, not eventually. Not when things settle. Not when you have more clarity or more certainty, or more of whatever you have been waiting to have more of before you allow yourself to take the question seriously. The gate does not require you to see the other side before you step through. Gates do not work that way. You cannot see through a gate from the side you are currently on. The other side is only visible from the other side. What you can see from here is the gate itself, the threshold, the edge. And what the crossing requires is not certainty about what is on the other side. It requires the willingness to step through without certainty. This is the specific thing that hesitation is protecting you from. Not from a bad outcome, from the experience of uncertainty, from the discomfort of not knowing what comes next, from the vulnerability of being in motion toward something you cannot fully see. And here is the precise cost of that protection. Every day you spend protecting yourself from the uncertainty of crossing is a day you spend in the metabolic expense of superposition, of being neither here nor there, of holding two states simultaneously, the old life and the new one, the known and the unknown, the managing and the building. That suspension is not free. It costs you energy that you could be using to cross. It costs you clarity that you could be using to navigate. It costs you aliveness that you could be bringing to the life on the other side. The uncertainty does not go away if you stay. It just changes its character. On this side of the threshold, the uncertainty is about whether to cross. On the other side, the uncertainty is about where the crossing is taking you. And the second kind of uncertainty is infinitely more livable than the first, because it is the uncertainty of motion rather than the uncertainty of suspension. It is the uncertainty of someone who is going somewhere rather than someone who is stuck between two places. Your future self is not standing in certainty. Your future self is standing in motion, and motion, even uncertain motion toward something not yet fully visible, is categorically different from suspension between states. This is the message. Not that crossing is safe. Not that the other side is perfect. That motion is better than suspension. That the uncertainty of going somewhere is better than the uncertainty of going nowhere. That the gate is open and the cost of staying in front of it is higher than you have been accounting for. What was the question that cracked you open? The one that arrived and could not be explained away. The one that made the existing structure feel suddenly too small? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Now I want to do something with you that is not intellectual. Because everything we have done so far has been mapping, understanding, framing. And mapping is necessary. But mapping is not crossing. You can understand a threshold completely and still not cross it. Understanding is preparation. What actually initiates the crossing is something that happens in the body, in the felt sense of your own existence, in the place where thought and sensation meet. So, I am going to ask you to do something. Not later. Now. While this transmission is still moving through you, I want you to feel the threshold. Not imagine it. Feel it. Because it is real. It is not a metaphor. The threshold you are standing at is producing actual sensations in your actual body right now. The pressure you have been feeling is real pressure. The sense of something unfinished is a real sensation. The urgency that brought you to this transmission is a real signal from your own system. So let us locate it. Bring your attention to your body, not to your thoughts about your body, to the actual physical sensations present in this moment. Start with your chest. What is happening there? Is there tightness? A kind of held quality, as if something is being compressed? Or is there something more like an ache? A longing, a reaching toward something not yet present. Whatever is there, do not try to change it. Just feel it. Let it be exactly what it is. Now bring your attention to your throat. Is there something there? A constriction? A held quality? Something that wants to move but has not been given permission to move? Now your stomach. The center of your body. What is happening there? Is there a kind of hollowness, a tension, a swirling quality that you have been interpreting as anxiety, but might be something else? What you are feeling in these places is the physical signature of the threshold. It is what superposition feels like in a body. It is what being between states actually produces as sensation. The tightness in the chest is the compression of holding two states simultaneously. The constriction in the throat is the unexpressed truth of what you already know about which way you need to go. The sensation in the stomach is the felt sense of the edge, the place where the known ground ends and the unknown opens. Now, I want you to do something specific with these sensations. Do not try to resolve them. Do not try to make them go away. Instead, let them be information. Ask them, not in words, but in attention, what they are pointing toward, not what they are pointing away from, what they are pointing toward. The tightness in your chest, what is on the other side of it, not what caused it. What does it want? What would it feel like if it released? What would have to be true for it to release? The constriction in your throat. What is the thing that wants to be said? Not to anyone else necessarily, just acknowledged, just allowed to be real. What is the truth that the constriction is holding back? The sensation in your stomach. What is the edge it is sensing? What is the specific thing that feels like a cliff, that your body is treating as a drop, that your nervous system is registering as danger, even though the danger it is sensing is not physical? Stay with this for a moment. Let the sensations speak in the language of sensation rather than the language of thought. Because here is what your body knows that your mind has been arguing with. Your body knows you are at a threshold. Your body has known it for longer than your mind has been willing to admit. The sensations you have been carrying, the ones you have been attributing to stress, to busyness, to the general difficulty of the times, are the body's precise and accurate registration of the fact that you are in superposition, that you are holding two states simultaneously, that the crossing is available and has not yet been made. Your body is not wrong about this. Your body is not being dramatic. Your body is doing what bodies do, registering reality with more accuracy than the mind's story about reality. Now I want you to do one more thing in this practice. Feel the edge, the specific edge of the threshold, the place where the known ground ends. Let your attention go to the very edge of what you can feel clearly about your own life, the place where clarity stops and uncertainty begins. Let yourself stand right at that edge. Not step back from it. Not step through it yet. Just stand at it. Feel what it is like to be exactly here. at the edge, at the threshold, at the gate. Most people spend enormous amounts of energy either pulling back from this edge or trying to see through it to the other side. Both of those are ways of not being at the edge. And not being at the edge is what makes the crossing impossible. You cannot cross a threshold you are not standing at. So just be here, right at the edge. Feel the ground under your feet on this side. Feel the opening in front of you. Feel the quality of the air at the threshold, which is different from the air on either side, which has a particular quality of aliveness, of potential, of everything being possible and nothing being certain. This is the gate. You are standing at it right now, not metaphorically, actually. And the question your future self is asking you is very simple. What are you waiting for? Not as a challenge, not as a criticism, as a genuine question. Because your future self, standing on the other side, looking back at the version of you standing at the gate, can see something you cannot see from where you are standing. Your future self can see that there is nothing on this side of the gate that is worth what you are paying to stay here. That the safety you are protecting is not as safe as it looks from the inside. That the known life is not as stable as the fact of its familiarity makes it feel. That the managing is costing you more than the building would cost you. And your future self can see the specific thing that is waiting for you on the other side. Not a perfect life. Not a life without difficulty or uncertainty or loss, but a life that is genuinely yours. A life that you are building rather than managing. A life in which you are genuinely present rather than managing your presence. A life in which the question of what you would do if you could do anything has an answer that you are actually living. That life is not guaranteed by crossing, but it is not available without crossing. It exists only on the other side of the threshold you are standing at right now. Let us talk about what actually changes when you cross. Not in the abstract, in the specific. The first thing that changes is your relationship to the question of whether crossing was the right choice. On this side of the threshold, that question is enormous. It dominates the decision-making process. It is the primary reason for hesitation. What if I cross and it was wrong? What if I step through and find something worse? What if I give up what I have and do not find what I am looking for? On the other side, that question loses its power almost immediately. Not because it gets answered in the way you expect it to be answered, but because the crossing itself changes the relationship to the question. Once you are in motion, the question of whether motion was correct becomes less important than the question of where the motion is taking you. The energy that was spent on the decision gets transferred to the navigation. And navigation is a fundamentally different activity than deliberation. Navigation is alive. Deliberation is suspended. The second thing that changes is your relationship to the people in your life. This one is subtle and important. When you are in superposition, when you are between states, you unconsciously pull the people around you into that suspension with you. Your uncertainty becomes their uncertainty. Your hesitation creates a kind of holding pattern in the relationships closest to you. People who love you can feel when you are not fully here, when you are managing rather than building, when you are present in body but absent in the sense that matters. And they respond to that absence, often without knowing what they are responding to, with their own forms of distance or pressure or worry. When you cross, the people who are meant to be in the life on the other side of the threshold will feel the shift. Not because you explain it to them, because your quality of presence changes, because you are genuinely here in a way you were not before, because the person they are in relationship with has become more fully themselves, more genuinely present, more actually available to the relationship rather than managing it. Some relationships will not make the crossing with you. This is one of the things that makes thresholds frightening. Some of what exists on this side of the gate belongs to this side, and crossing means leaving it here. This is real. It is not a reason to stay, but it is something to be honest about. The crossing is not without cost. It is that the cost of crossing is less than the cost of staying, and that what you leave behind in the crossing is not the same as what you lose. Leaving is not the same as losing. What you leave is what belonged to this side. What you carry through is what was genuinely yours. The third thing that changes is your relationship to time. On this side of the threshold, time feels like pressure, like a resource that is running out, like something that is moving against you. The urgency you feel, the almost out-of-time quality of this message, is what time feels like when you are in superposition, when you are spending it on suspension rather than motion. On the other side, time changes character. It becomes something you are moving through rather than something that is moving against you. The future, instead of being the place where the consequences of your hesitation accumulate, becomes the place where the direction of your crossing is taking you. The past, instead of being the weight of everything that has not yet been resolved, becomes simply what happened, the ground you crossed to get here. This shift in the experience of time is one of the most significant things that changes in a genuine threshold crossing. And it is one of the things that is almost impossible to describe to someone who has not yet crossed, because it sounds like a small thing, a change in how time feels, until you have experienced it. And then it becomes clear that the experience of time is not a small thing. It is the entire texture of being alive. It is the medium in which every moment of your existence takes place, and changing its character from pressure to passage is one of the most profound shifts a human being can make. The fourth thing that changes is your relationship to your own authority. On this side of the threshold, authority is something you look for outside yourself. You look for permission, for validation, for someone or something to confirm that the crossing is correct before you make it. This is not weakness. It is a natural response to standing at a gate you cannot see through. You want information from the other side before you commit to crossing. You want someone who has already crossed to tell you it was worth it. But here is the paradox that your future self needs you to understand. The authority to cross does not come from outside the crossing. It comes from the crossing itself. The moment you step through, the moment you commit to the motion rather than the deliberation, something in your own consciousness reorganizes around the decision. The authority that you were looking for outside yourself becomes available from inside yourself, but only after the crossing, not before. This is why waiting for certainty before crossing is a category error. Certainty is not what you need to cross. Certainty is not what is available at a threshold. What is available is the choice, the willingness, the decision to be in motion rather than suspension, and that choice, made without certainty, is what generates the authority that certainty would have given you if it were available. Your future self has this authority. It was generated by the crossing, by the willingness to step through without being able to see the other side, by the choice to be in motion rather than to wait for conditions that would never arrive. And your future self is reaching back through the field of possible selves to tell you that the authority you are waiting for is on the other side of the choice you are avoiding, that it cannot be given to you from this kind, that it can only be generated by the act of crossing. Now let us talk about what the message from your future self actually is. The full message too, not the warning, the instruction. Because the warning, you are almost out of time, is only the first part of the message. It is the part that gets your attention, the part that breaks through the comfortable numbness of the managing life and creates enough urgency to make you stop and listen. But the warning is not the content. The content is what comes after the warning. Here is what your future self is actually saying to you. The first thing, stop treating the threshold as a problem to solve. The threshold is not a problem. It is a gate. Problems have solutions. Gates have crossings. The difference is enormous. A problem requires you to figure out the answer before you move. A gate requires you to move in order to find out where it leads. You have been treating the threshold as a problem, which is why you have been trying to solve it rather than cross it. You have been gathering information, seeking certainty, looking for the right conditions, trying to think your way to the other side. None of that works at a gate. The only thing that works at a gate is stepping through. The second thing, the question you keep asking is the wrong question. The question you keep asking is whether crossing is safe, whether the other side is better, whether you will regret it, whether you will lose what matters. These are all reasonable questions, and they are all questions that cannot be answered from this side of the threshold, which means that continuing to ask them is a way of staying in suspension indefinitely. The right question, the question your future self is asking you to ask, is not whether crossing is safe. It is what crossing is for. Not is this the right choice, but what is this choice in service of? Not will I lose something, but what am I building toward? That shift in the question changes everything. It moves you from deliberation to direction, from suspension to motion. The third thing, the people who have already crossed are not special. They are not braver than you. They are not more certain than you were. They did not have information you do not have. They crossed without certainty, without a guarantee, without being able to see the other side. The only thing that distinguishes them from the version of you that stays on this side of the gate is that they chose motion over suspension, that they allowed the urgency of the threshold to be more compelling than the comfort of the known, that they let the gate matter enough to step through it. You can make that same choice. Right now. Not in a dramatic, life-upending way necessarily, but in the quality of your attention, in the decision to stop treating the question as something to be solved and start treating it as a direction to be followed, in the willingness to let the threshold be real, to feel the edge, to stand at the gate and then, when you are ready, to step through. The fourth thing, the timing matters, but not in the way you think. You are almost out of time is not a statement about a deadline imposed from outside. It is a statement about the physics of your own system. The window is open now. The conditions for a clean crossing are present now. The energy required to cross is available now. This does not mean that if you do not cross today, everything is lost. It means that the longer you wait, the more of that energy gets consumed by the suspension itself. The crossing becomes harder. The landing becomes shakier. The crystallization is less clean. You still cross, but you cross depleted rather than full. You still arrive, but you arrive having paid more than you needed to pay. The fifth thing, what you are protecting by not crossing is not what you think you are protecting. You think you are protecting the good things in the existing structure, the relationships, the security, the known life. But what you are actually protecting, at the deepest level, is a particular story about who you are. A story that was true once and is no longer fully true. A story that the existing structure is built around and that the crossing would require you to revise. And that story the one you are protecting, is not your friend. It is the thing that is making the existing structure feel smaller and smaller. It is the ceiling, and the crossing does not destroy it. It expands it. It puts it in a larger context. It makes it one chapter rather than the whole book. Your future self has revised the story, has found that the revision did not destroy what was real in the original, has discovered that the things that were genuinely yours in the managing life came through the crossing with you, and that the things that did not come through were not genuinely yours in the first place. That is the full message. Stop treating the threshold as a problem. Ask the right question. Know that crossing is a choice, not a special capacity.